start up with, we are having the React.js session. So to start up with this event, we have in collaboration with 99x Technologies. And now I would like to call up Brian, the president of Mozilla Club, to give the welcome speech. Brian.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Fernando, and the president of the Mozilla Club of IIT for the year 2020 and 2021. As Omar said, Open Brackets is a signature event of the Mozilla Club. And due to the request of most of the students of IIT, we decided to organize a session about React.js. Today, we have Mr.Osusara, Kammalawatta, Mrs.Nishra, whom the expertise in the field. Welcome you all for today's session. And also we have Mr. Yasasri, the technical lead from 99x2. Welcome you to the session, sir. And they all are software engineers from 99x Technologies. Then I would like to invite all the lecturers whom joined with us today. And also I would like to extend the welcome of mine to all my friends whom keen in learning new technology. And I know you all are eagerly waiting till the session starts. So Omar, it's up to you to continue the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. So to start up with this, we have the coordinator of this event, Mr. Yasas Vikramasinghe with us.
Thank you, Mali. Thank you, Brian. So good evening, everyone. So it's really nice to speak to you all today. So I know IIT Mozilla Club, actually we are getting a lot of support from your club for industry related work as well. So I remember last Mozilla Club committee also invited us for conducting some sessions. So representing 99x Technology, now we call 99x, actually we rebranded recently. So representing 99x, I'm really thankful for all the Mozilla Club committee and everyone who are always working with 99x very closely. Okay, to start with, let me quickly tell what's going to happen today. So today actually 99x, we have a separate initiative, we call it Dotitude. So Dotitude is the initiative like which is always working closely with the undergraduates. So all the internship related stuff, conducting mock interviews, arranging university sessions, workshops, or even project mentoring stuff, everything is handled by this initiative. So the initiative is consisted with all the software engineers and all the employees at 99x, and they are volunteering for this. So we are really having very close connections with IIT, as you already know. So recently actually we rebranded our initiative logo as well. So first let me introduce what is Dotitude and just give you like a 2-minute introduction about what we are doing there and the stuff like that, and then we'll move with the session. So let me share my screen first, guys. Right. So Dotitude is the university relationship initiative at 99x, and so today we are representing that. So all our speakers are the initiative members in this initiative Dotitude. And for in your future also, if you have any query, internship related, any session request, anything, all you have to do is we'll be sharing our Dotitude contact details. We have Facebook page, Instagram, we have email address, or even you can directly call one of our employees or someone you have contact with, and you can reach Dotitude. So we are really happy and looking forward to welcome you and serve and inspire you from our expertise we have. Yeah. So this is, guys, this is what we call Dotitude. Yes, so with that, I like to invite our speakers to continue this session. And just another side note. So at the end of the session, our speakers will be giving you a challenge actually. So we'll be looking who are the experts and who are the interested people in this React area. And there's a challenge. So please work with us. Like please take some notes if you want, or else you can start development with our speakers together. And from that challenge, actually 99x management team is willing to give you some token of appreciation, kind of a shout out, and give you a good recognition. So I highly encourage everyone to like engage with this session. You can ask questions. So I really like if you can unmute your mic and ask directly questions. So it shows your confidence and everything as well. So we know IIT people are like that. So we are really like to see that kind of passion from you guys. Or else even you can reach us via chat. Or else even after the session, we'll be sharing contact details. So you can reach for your queries. Okay. So with that, I'll hand over this session to Nishra, so she will continue.
Thank you, Yasas. Let me share my screen first. If you can see my screen, let me know.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So let's see what's we have lined up for the day. First of all, I will go through an overview for the React. After that, I'll give you an heads up on how we can start our first React app. After that, Sandun and Osusara will cover the basics of React, which will be having React lifecycle, component API, props and states, functional components, and class component comparison, as well as we hope to cover some React hooks during this session. At the end, as Yasas mentioned, you will get a challenge from our team. So let's see what is React. So React was first developed by Facebook, and it is now developing as an open source project. So any developer in the world can contribute to this React code base by going to this React GitHub link. As you can see here, there are a number of contributors who are contributing to improvement of this React library. Apart from that, uh, React is an user interface library. What we mean by this user interface library is not only having the buttons, tables, which we see on the website. Apart from that, we can validate the user inputs as well as using this React library. So as I mentioned a couple of times, React is an JavaScript library. Do you know why it is calling as a library and not calling as a framework? So as you can see in this picture, uh, this is how a framework works. Framework is when we develop a code base within a framework, the code is bounded with the features provided by the framework. So we can't go beyond that provided resources. But if we use a library, we can do our coding by going beyond the provided resources. So as you can see here, this is only a one library. If we need to have another feature, we can plug that library as well as to this code base. So let's move to the next slide. So here I have listed what are the things we need to have before we start building our React project. When I consider about the knowledge wise, we need to have basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, as well as a basic knowledge of JavaScript. Apart from that, it is better to have the knowledge of DOM and virtual DOM. So you may be right now confused with these jargon words. So don't worry, I will be explaining what is DOM and what is virtual DOM in the future slides. Apart from this knowledge, it is necessary to build your laptop or the desktop to build these React applications. So for that, you need two things. First one is Node.js and other one is a text editor. Let's see what is Node.js. So normally we use Node.js to interact our website and our code base. I'll explain it with a simple example. So Node is normally used for different purposes. When I take a small example, there should be a way where we can share our local desktop files to the browser. When we hosting a website on the browser, there should be a way we can share the folders on our desktop to the browser. So we use this Node as a intermediate software to communicate between our desktop and the browser. It is just a simple example. Node is a big topic which can be studied along with React. So you just have to download this React node. You just have to download this node from their official nodejs.org site. So you can see here the recommended version and the future version. So I'm recommending you to use this recommended version and download, and you can follow the instruction given by them to download and configure this to your your desktop. Apart from that, you need to have a text editor. So text editor is the place where we code our project. So in the industry, we are currently normally using VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So you can also download Visual Studio Code from their official website, code.visualstudio.com. So after configuring this development environment, you can start your first React project. So before we start, let's see why we need React. So as you can see in this picture, React is normally used by different world-class companies. Here some example: Facebook, Airbnb, Twitter. Likewise, React is a kind of a leading front-end development library. So as technology is getting updated, people like to use trending technologies in the industry. So apart from that trending, there are some features which included in React. React allow us to build component-based architecture. Let me explain what is this component-based architecture. So as you can see here, this is a sample web page. Let's assume that this is a page where we can put participation name, participant address, contact number, digital signature, and as well as a photo. So when you see this page, you will think we can code all the things within a one single file of the code. But when it comes to the industry level, we are thinking more about component, separating these components as an individual component. So we can separate this whole project, whole page into couple of components. Let's think this table is a one component. When you come to the row, we can create that row as another component. When it comes to this digital signature, we can create that digital signature as another component. Likewise, we will separate code base uh, according to the we will separate this code base according to the ease of use. So if we separate this digital signature component from this whole component, we will be able to reuse this component. As you can see in my slide, uh, the second point is reusability of code. So when we separate these component code based on the component wise, it will be easy for us to reuse those codes whenever we need it. Apart from these two, we will be able to develop mobile applications as well. So for the mobile application development, we have two options. We can develop mobile application as PWA. So what is PWA? PWA is the meaning of PWA means progressive web app. So have you ever seen when you go to a website, there are sometimes pop-ups coming. Do you need to install this website? Likewise. So after you install that app, it will create a small icon on your desktop. So likewise, if it is acting as a mobile application. It is one way of developing mobile apps. I will explain how we can convert a normal website to a PWA in later slide. Apart from that, we can move to the React Native. React Native also built by Facebook. It is having the features we needed to develop applications for Android, iOS, likewise mobile devices. So now let's see how we can start a React project. For that, we have to have, as I mentioned, we have to have installed Node.js, and also we have to have VS Code. So here we can run one simple command as npx create React app and along with your project name. So let's do it. So when you giving the project name, it should be only have simple letters. After that, you need to enter. It will take some time to install the packages needed. So I will not continue with this. I have a preloaded app. After completing this installation, it will be looking like this, as you can see here. So now, when you go to the terminal, you can give npm start to start your application. It will take few minutes to start your application. After that, it will open up like this on your browser. So this is what it looks when we use create React app template. So let's, here there's a small React icon, there's a text, there's a link. So let's see how this have done by going through the code base. So here there are some things to be understand before we jump into the code. So here we have something called package.json. public folder, src means source folder, gitignore, yarn log. So let's see what is this package JSON is. Package JSON is the place where we specify the dependencies of this application. Dependencies means the other third-party libraries we are using apart from the React. So here first we have defined the name. So I gave it as IIT React session. We can give a version number, and also there are some other things. So when you are starting, it is you just have a look on this, and then you don't need to do a big thing within the package JSON when you are starting your first project. So then we can go to this public folder. uh, Before we jump into the public folder, I'll explain what is this node modules. Node modules are the place where all the dependencies are lined up here. So all the third-party libraries will be listed here. So you don't need to consider about that at the beginning as well. So in the public folder, you have something like manifest JSON and also index.html. So what is this index.html? It is a very important page. So we are considering React as a single page application. So this is the only HTML page we have for the whole React application. So here you can see we have a header, we have a body, and a root div tag. The ID of that div tag is root. So these are the things in this index.html. And also when we go to this src folder, we have something called index.js. In here, in index.js, uh, we are calling document.getElementById root. So we are calling this root div of index.html page. So if we need to change something of this website, we have to do it manually. Let's see how we can do it. So so index.html is connecting with index.js. After that, index.js is connecting with app.js. In here, we can see there's a function, small function with the export default uh, app. So this is one component. This is app component. So it is returning something, some HTML tags. So here you can see a image tag where you saw this logo. It is coming from this image tag. Apart from that, edit src app and save to reload. It is coming, which is displaying here. And also there's another link with a tag. So apart from this, this app.js is calling for for the logo. It is located within the src folder logo.svg, and the styles also located in app.cs. So let's see how we can change the content here. Here. So for that, I will remove all these things, and here you can see it is only having only a div tag. So for that, I'm adding one h1 tag and saving, and it started to compile, and and you can see here the changes are displaying here. Welcome to React session. So how it is happening is, when I quickly summarize again, we have included h1 tag here. This app is calling to the here in the index.js. App component is called in the app, index.js. Within the index.js, it is calling to the root element, which is inside the public folder index.html file.
Guys, I think there's a connection issue or something with our speaker, so please give us a few minutes. I think she will be connecting soon. And also just a reminder, like we'll be sharing the session video, and also some of these attendees were requesting materials, session materials, so we'll make sure to distribute them as well in PDF form. And also meanwhile, if you have any questions, so please take this opportunity so you can ask them. We have Osusara, Sandun active right now, and also Nishra will be connecting soon.
Hi, hope you can hear me. I think I lost my connection.
Yeah, now it's fine. We can hear you.
Let me share. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I was telling about how this root element is connecting with the app and the index.js. So apart from these index.html, app.js, and index.js, all the others are not needed to consider much when you are developing your first app. So let's go what we have lined up for the session. So as I mentioned earlier, I will be explaining what is this virtual DOM and DOM and virtual DOM. So DOM means document object model. So when you see this application, you can see here, when we inspect that, you can see here the header and the body. So it takes a copy of our application like this. So for that, we are calling document object model. In React, they are doing something different than a normal website. We have this real document object model. Here we can have the head h1 tag. Here we can have a button. Here an input tag. Likewise, there is a copy of our application. So what React doing is they are taking a copy of this actual document object model like this. After that, they are keeping that copy and take another copy. And if we try to update, let's assume I am trying to update h1 tag, as you saw, to another something like, well, uh, something new. So it is showing like this. Now I have updated this first element. What React doing is it is not considering what I have updated. It is taking another copy of this another copy of this document object model like this. After that, it will compare the previous copy and the existing current copy by itself. After comparing this virtual two virtual copies, it recognize they have updated only this part of the website. Then they are going, what React is doing is they will go and update only the real document object element. By using this method, React will stop updating the whole real document object model each and every time when we update something. This will help to improve our performance of this our web application. Yeah, that it for the overview of React. So I will hand over to Osusara to continue the React basics.
Thank you, Nishra. Um, good evening, guys. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Osusara, you can go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to do the session about React basics. Yeah. The first, Nishra also previously explained what is a component. Think components are independent and reusable part of codes. So that is the basic definition of a component. In this picture, this is a simple to-do app. We can consider each of these colored boxes as component. So in React, we can create each of these components as independent elements, and also we can reuse them whenever we want. So Yeah. In React, also I forgot to mention, in React, there are two types of component. They are class components and function components. So I am going to explain about the class components. Also, class components also called as stateful components, and function components also called as stateless components. You will find out why the reason. I will explain in the future. So there are two things we should know when we are starting work with React. They are state and props. So basically, state is how a React component keep its data. I mean, a React class components has its internal state. So that's why we call class components as stateful components. We can keep the data of a particular component in this in its state. So I think you got the point. Then props. Props are the arguments we passed into a React component. So that means we can pass data from one component to another component, actually from a parent component to a child component. So to do that, we use props. So that is the difference between state and props. State keep the data of a component, and props used to pass data from one component to another component. So let me do a demonstration to show you how it works. So this is a simple React app which was created using create React app. Nishra show how it was done. So I'm going to clear all this. Can you see my what is editor?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I also I want to say that this is a functional component. Actually, this app component is a function. You can see it clearly. So now I'm talking about class components. So let's remove the whole file. Delete that. So I'm going to create a class component from scratch. Yeah, we have to do three things to create a React component. First, we have to import the React, and at the end we have to export it. In the middle we have to create the component. So this is how we create class components. Actually these are JavaScript classes. So I'm creating the app component as a class component. You can see I extend the app component from React component. React component. So there are some properties we get from the this parent component to our React components. So in React class component, we must define the render method. I'll explain all these in the future slides. what is render method. Yeah, render, and here we have to return what should display on the browser. So I'm going to put just a simple h1. Yeah, and the really I hello, can you hear me?
Yes, so sir, we can hear you.
Okay.
I think others also can hear him clearly.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So I import React, then I create the app class. Now I have to export it. So I simply created the app component of my React project. This app component is the actually the starting point of a React project. Also, you can see here the app.css file which was created by the create React app. So I'm going to import it as well. So our app will little bit nice. So everything done. Let's say, oh, there's an error. Okay. Still compiling. Um, yes. Yeah. Now you can see the output here. So if I change something, and there, it changes here as well. So that is how we create simply create a React component. So I'm going to create a folder for my next components. And I'm going to create another component here. Uh, okay, so I'm copying the name. So this is my basics component. This way. Okay, and clear the return. So I move this hello world the h1 tag to the basics component, and I'm going to import that component here. These import commands and these class, the export commands are JavaScript syntaxes. I hope you know them. Components folder basics, and I'm going to render my basics component here. So what I did was I created a folder called components and created a new component called basics, and import that component to my app.js file and rendered it inside the app component. So nothing has changed. So we can call this app component is the parent component, and the basic component is the child component. So let me show how the states work in React. So React class components have a constructor. When we create the constructor method, when we actually if we override the constructor inside our component, we have to pass props here. Also, we have to call this super method with props at the beginning. Then we can define our states of this component like this. This state is actually an object. Yes. So I'm going to. So inside this state, we can create our states. I'm going to create a state called count, and the value is, the initial value is 0. Sorry, yeah, 0. And we can create any type of state here, arrays, objects, anything we can create here as our states. So I'm going to create a count, the count state, and it is a number. Initially it is 0. Then we can render our state here like this. So you can see our state displays in the browser. So if we change the state, yeah, it updates. So that's how we create state. So inside this state, we can keep the data of this component. Then okay, now I create another component here. I call it value. Okay, I clear all these. I need the render method and change the name. Okay, this is also a simple component. Now I import it in my basics component. value and put it here. So you already saw it, the same thing happened. And so now I'm going to show how to pass this state to this component. So we use props to do that. Props, we define props similarly to HTML attributes. So we can give a prop name. I give count value, and it is the value is the state of this component, this dot. Then we can go to the value component and add here see now the value of this the count pass to this value component through the props. Then we can render it here. So if I change the value here, if I change the value, it will render the changed value. So this is simple. This so I hope you got the point, the props and states. So now I create another component. We call it buttons.js. Import the React, create the class, extends component. We can import React component here and directly add it here. Render method. Then export. So I import the buttons component as well. Buttons component and add it here. So okay, now you can see there's an error here. If we put more than one component inside the render method, we have to put them inside a single element. So I put a div tag here and move these two inside the div tag. So yeah, now so I'm going to do something cool. So I create two buttons here. So yeah. So if I save, so you can see both of components here. Now still they are not doing anything. So I'm going to do is when we click the +1 button, I'm going to increase the value by 1, and if we press the -1 button, I'm going to decrease the value using my React project. For that, I'm going to create my own function here. So function, I call it change count value. I'm going to pass a value here. Then I'm going to set this state according to the on click event. So we have a method called set state to set the state. Yep, this dot set state. I'm going to set the count state. I hope you got what I did. So when we call this function with the value, let's think the value is 1. Then it will set the state. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, Osusara.
Okay. Then this line will set the state. It will get the current state, the current value of the state count, and it will add the value we passed here, and then it will assign to the count state. So now I'm going to pass this function as a prop to this button. So I call it count change, and I'm writing an arrow function. I think I can pass this directly. This dot change. So I pass this function as a prop to this component, buttons component. Then in class components, we have to bind these functions. If we write the function like this, we have to bind it when we use. By doing this, it actually defines the scope of this this function, and also there is a function called arrow function. If we use arrow functions, we don't need to bind. Arrow functions are something like this. So if we write the function like this, we don't need to bind here. So I'm going to remove this for now. Now I am going to buttons component. Now I write an on-click handler here. So this on-click handler handles click events on a button. So I pass this function as a prop. Here we have to do this. Here we have to do this inside a arrow function. Like this. And copying this, paste it here, change this to -1, save. So I think now it's okay. Yeah, now it's working. When I click +1, it increase, -1, it decrease. So I have to say something about this set state. When we maybe you have a question, why don't we just declare an variable without using state? So let me create a variable 1 and the value is 0 and pass it here. This dot variable 1. If I save, the value is displayed here. It's all right. And we don't need to set the state because the value is this variable 1. We can change it in the click event. Will this work now? So let's check. I click these buttons, but the value doesn't change. The reason is there is something called life cycle for these components. That means these components have 3 phases. That means mounting, updating, and unmounting. So if we do things like this, the life cycle will never update. I mean, it will never run again. To update the DOM, the life cycle should run again and again. So by this set state method, it will re-render the particular component. That's why when we click the button, that's why when we click the button, it will update the output as well. See, so let's keep this as 0. So I hope you got got what is props and state. And next, the React lifecycle I mentioned before. So React lifecycle, React class components inherit these properties and these lifecycle methods from the React component. As I mentioned before, React class components, remember, React class components consist of internal states and lifecycle methods, thus mounting, updating, and unmounting. So there are many methods. Actually, if I show this diagram, this is the basic overview of a React component. Mounting means creating, it means generating the component for the first time. Updating means if when we set state or do some force update, the already created component will update. In unmounting means the component get destroyed. So these are the basic life cycle methods, and if I show you here, these are some rarely used, these methods are rarely used life cycle methods, so I'm not going to talk about them. So in React component lifecycle, in mounting phase, the first thing is the constructor. You already saw the constructor in this demo as well. So this is the constructor. Also the render. Render is must method in a React component. So the constructor, the constructor call before anything else when the component is initiated. Typically, React constructor used for two things. They are initialize the local state or to bind the functions. If you remember, I bind this function here, or we can do the same thing inside the constructor as well. Sorry, I didn't tell about the render. The render method is required for every React component. It is the method that actually outputs the HTML to the DOM. HTML means, actually we call this JSX. It looks like HTML. If I show you a difference between HTML and JSX, in HTML we use class attribute to class attribute. In React, in JSX, we use class name attribute actually. I put this class name, so this style will apply to our app. So yeah, then the component did mount. This method called immediately after the component is rendered or mounted. This is where we can run statements that requires that the component is already placed in, such as fetch. We can use this component did mount set up subscriptions. So when the component placed inside the DOM, this component did mount method will run. So next, in updating phase, there is a method called component did update. It is very similar to component did mount. Invoked immediately after component is up. Between component did mount and component did update is component did mount invoked when the component mounts. That means when the component created for the first time. After that, in every update, the component did update function will run. Then component will unmount. So this method invoked immediately before a component is unmounted from the DOM. So this is a good place to perform any cleanups. Cleanups in the sense canceling network requests, sorry. I cannot see the chat actually. If there's any question. Okay. Yeah. There are some render method is not needed for functional components. Yes, render method is actually not. It is not supported inside functional components. So the functional components are the recent best. React class components are the best way to learn how the React works in the background. So so component will unmount. I told you what it is. So if you remember the set state will update any component. So can you guess what will happen if we call set state inside the component did mount? So we call set state method inside this component mount. As soon as the component created, it will re-render. So the component will render 2 times. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay. So also I mentioned so there are some rarely used life cycle methods, and there are some life cycle methods to handle errors. So you can refer, actually they are not much common. You can refer really the React if you want to learn those methods. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I think Osar is having some connection problems. So Sandun, can you continue with your session so we can manage time also?
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think you guys can see my screen.
Yes, Sandun. Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'll explain what is the functional components in the and the React hooks of the React JS. So first we see the what is the differences between the class components and the functional components. Mostly I can remember these functional components are very when it is not any usage between these version 16.8 coming. So because for before that it is used as a presentational components. So after the 16.8 version, it has the React hooks and the all the functional that most of the features that comes with the class components. So because of that, now mostly in the industrial level also using these functional components, you have seen that this Create React app also creating that in the boilerplate, that app J is also creating a functional components. I can remember when I started working with the React, it has the class component as the that boilerplate. So I think these changes are made in the 2019 or 90. So let's talk about what is the functional component. So if the functional component is a has a main change is the functional component is a just simple JavaScript function, and also class component is a JavaScript class. So also this functional component doesn't have the any render method. It is only returning a JSX object as a result. Also this is a simple JavaScript function. Also it doesn't have state variable like class components, but it is can manageable with the using a hooks. But this state is not handled inside the component. It is handling this in that hook. So I'll talk about what is the hook means. And also there is no any life cycle methods like create. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So okay, but this life cycle method that you have seen that Osusara was mentioned it. So because of this not having these life cycle methods, it is manageable by with the hooks also. So also this render message, I also mentioned that render method is not in the functional components, and also it can be accept props as like class components. They are passing as like passing a parameter into a function. So it is very easy comparing to the class component, but there is some concepts you need to understand with the when we are going with the functional component. So I'll explain how the basic structure of the functional component. So it is I also already mentioned that it is a basic JavaScript function. So also need to return JSX HTML syntax. So you can write it as a actually it is also need to import this React library. So also you can write it as these two methods. This is a ordinary JavaScript notation, and also you can use this ES6 that arrowhand functions, and you need to export them like this. So this is the basic structure of the functional component. You already saw that when we are creating a boilerplate from with the create React app, it is giving these functional component as an app component. So okay, I'll explain why we are going with the functional component instead of class component. So functional components are easier to read, so you can it is improving the readability of your code. Also these class components are functional components are not rely on the state and the lifecycle hooks. Because of that, it is very easy to unit testing and the testing stuff. So because this is the main reason this is using mostly in the industry. So currently also most of the developers and most of the React developers are recommending using functional components instead of class components. Also class components, functional components can reduce the code and improve the maintainability of the code base. And also these functional components cannot be used with here and there. You need to follow a good best practice. Otherwise, these code bases get very messy, because these functional components are introduced to use as a reusable. So you need to keep in touch in that. And also then let's talk about what is these hooks. For the functional components, that every helpful features are came with this hook. So these hooks are introduced with the React version 16.8, and also these functions are hooks are also a function. It is a reusable JavaScript function. You also I'll explain that you also can write your own hooks and reuse them in your code. And also it is also allowing the use states and other features like site cycle methods without writing a class inside your code base. And also I mentioned earlier, it is you can write also custom hooks, and other than the inbuilt hooks, there are lots of inbuilt hooks in the React. Also come with the different third-party libraries like Redux and the most of that React Router, that kind of libraries. They are giving lots of React hooks to use in your code base. So let's see what are the hooks that are mostly used. In these four hooks, the use state and use effect is the mostly used React hooks. If you are going with the some kind of application that used functional components, you cannot continue with work without using these, especially these two hooks. So also there is a use memo and the use ref hooks. Also these are somewhat important. Also there are lots of other hooks also. There are use context, use reducer, then also the Redux has use selector, that kind of lots of, and also the React Router DOM has use history. This kind of lots of there is a hooks, so you can use, and if there is any usage, you can refer their documentation. It is very clearly explained how these hooks can use. Also, there are third-party libraries as very full documentations. So let's start with the simplest hook. It is use state hook. This is using to managing state inside the functional component. So every time these you can see that can be written like this. Mention it as a constant, and also there is two variables. First variable actually a variable, and second one is mostly a function. And also use state, and these two brackets, inside two brackets you need to mention what is the data that assigned to initially to that hook. You can in this I have mentioned it as a 0. It's an integer, and also you can add a string and also a boolean to these two brackets. So you need to remember that this is a golden rule, like in the functional components and the hooks. Every time you are calling this updating this state, the component is re-rendered. So you need to remember this because this may be sometimes give some advancement, but sometimes it can be a huge headache. So you need to know how to manage this re-rendering. So also I'll show some example on the this React hook use state. So I had created a simple application that created some boilerplate with the reactor. I'll open it. I think you guys can see this command prompt.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll open this code with the visual code. Please open in another. Okay. This is the I'm not going to explain this code base. So it is a simple create reactor that created with the boilerplate. So let's going with another this how to use this use state hook. So so I'll create a component folder. Then I create a component called use state page. Yes. So also I need to explain you that to give some little hack on the React development. You can install this Visual Studio extension called React ES7 React Redux snippets, and the for the your Visual Studio application. So it will helpful to create you guys simply the boilerplate. So I'll need to create a functional component. So I'll type RFC. So yes, you can see that it is prompting some kind of drop down. So I'll enter. So you can see that it is creating a boilerplate that template for the functional component. So now you can see that I have showed you guys that in the presentation like this. it is creating a functional component like this. So I'll start with that. So first we need to import this use state hook. Sorry. I don't see the chat. Okay, give me a second. There is a problem with my mouse. Okay, I can see the chat, so I can't. Okay, yes, yes, it is. This Charmika is mentioned the snippet. That's extension name. So thank you. So also I'll okay. Okay, I'll add the create hook. So first I'll add this as count and the set as set count and create a use state, and this will be integer, so I'll add initialize as 0. If you are going with the some this is the JS. Also you can create application with React application with TypeScript. Mostly in the our project also they are using the TypeScript with the JavaScript. So if there is, you need to mention it as this like this syntax with the that variable type. So I have created this count variable. Also now we need to create a button also, like test +1. I'll try to go with the example that gives the Osusara also, because you can, that will be helpful you guys to understand the difference and the difference between these functional components and the class components. So now I have added these use state, and also there is a I'll add h1 to display this count. Okay, like count. You can see that this don't need to explain mention that this dot state dot count. It is only, you can use this count, just the count. So I'll also click and I'll update this set count as count. Then I'll add like this to voice one as -1. So our application is built now. So that template and the that example. So let's run this application. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. So this just need to run npm start. This is creating a server and automatically deploy our application, show our application in the browser. So also I forgot that we need to import this component into this app component. I'll import this. This application is started. This has a boilerplate, so I'll update it. See, you can see that our application is running. So if we are sorry, there is sorry, no application like this. Oh, sorry. You can see that it is a const. You can't assign a value like this, like that Osusara has did. So because you can see that it is a const as defined this in here. So only you can only refer that value. That is the another feature of the that React. So I'll try this. Okay. You can see that our application is running, and you can see that it is reducing and increasing. So that is how the this use state can be used. So I go to my presentation again. Okay. So that is how these use state is using. So let's see another hook. That this is also a very important hook in the React functional functional components. This effect hook has the ability to perform a side effect on the functional component. These side effects mean some kind of computation, some kind of life cycle hooks, and also some kind of re-rendering on the on that page. Also there is some kind of changes in the DOM. These kind of things can be handled with this use effect hook. Also you can use this use effect hook to substitute most of the lifecycle methods, except that get snapshot before update, get derived state from error, and the component did catch. These most of these two is the error boundary lifecycle hooks. So these cannot be achieved by this use effect hook. So also you need to keep in mind, you in the use effect hook you need to input you can input two arguments. First one is this function, and also you can add the array of variables. So I'll explain what these array of variables are doing. So let's go to the our application, test application. Okay, here. So okay, I'll create another component. Also, I'll explain how the before the you going to this use effect. I'll explain how the React handles the routing. So you need to install another package called you can npm install React router doc. So this I think you guys can see the screen. How we do this? I don't know how to do this size. You need to install this application. This third-party library. This not third party. This is also the library that recommended by the React developers. So I'm going to install it. Is it taking a time? Okay, yes, it is installing. Okay. Also, you guys, if there is any question on these sessions, these sections I have followed, you can ask also. Can't see the chat. Okay. Okay, thank you, Rusiru. You have corrected the error. So thank you. So also I have installed the npm package. So I'll refer it in this app. Yes. So when we going with the routing, we need to import a few functions from this router door. Import. You need to React router door, and you need to import some functions. I have used this. I'm using this hash router instead of using the browser router because it is there is no any big changes differences between these two, but some hosting partners like Asia, it is have some difficulties with using this browser route. So most of the time we are using hash routing. So we need to import this route as well as switch. Okay, I have imported necessary components we are need to handle the routes. So let's create a router. Okay, and router switch. Okay, then first we are going to create our first route. It is to route to the use state page. So this is the syntax that need to follow. You need to input the component, also the path to that route to that, and also this exact means your browser URL need to be exactly same to this path variable. So it is I'll make it at true, and we have need to add a path. So I'll add use state page. Okay, use state. I'll add use state, and component need to be imported here. I'll import it that. So we have imported already component. So I need to replace it here. Now our first route is created. So we only need to like this. Use state. Okay, we need to remove this also. Can see that if we are go to this page, it is not showing anything. When we go into this use state, we can see the application we have completed. So now we move to the our React use effect hook. Okay, so I'll create another component called use effect page. Effect page. This. Okay, create a component like this, and add another route. Component. Use effect page, then effect page, okay, like this, and another route. This. Okay, like this. Okay, I'll add this subtext. H1 use effect. Okay. If we go on to this use effect, you see that we are routing successfully to the use effect page. So let's see what we can achieve with the use effect. So earlier I have told you that we can mock most of the life cycle hooks with the use effect. So this, okay, life cycle hooks with the use effect. So you can see that we can mount. I'll show you how to mock these component did mount and the component did update with the use effect. So you can see we can convert them to the use effect hook to using the functional components using these use effect implementations. So I'll create another. Okay, I'll import the. Okay, I think there is a question here. Okay, how to React out different from conventional routing? So mostly we are using the conventional routing. I mean, you are going to mean like the href and the loading all the page. So with the React router, it is only render that component. If you are using some conventional routing, it is loading whole page. If you are going with some page, it is like you are calling that web page from initial, that typing the web page in the browser address. So with the React router, it is only change and the re-render the component. Because of that, it is work, because these React also a single page application, isn't it? So because of that, we need to use some kind of routing method to change. This routing is actually don't loading a whole web page that as like that Nishra was explained. So it is only a change in the component and that virtual DOM. So because of that, we need to use that React routing if we are using this React JS application as a single page application. So I think you got the answer. Okay, thank you. Okay, then I import the use state and the use effect. These are subcomponents, the sub functions that are used in the React library. So you need to you need to import them with these parentheses, curly braces, so not curly braces. So okay, let's see how this you can see you saw that there is lots of life cycle methods. I'll show first how this component will mount and the component will unmount is working in the how to mock with this use effect. Effect. Before that, I show like this, and I'll add mounted. This if we are going to write like this, I show how it is working. So I go home to home page and come again, use effect. So you can see that in the when we are going to render that page, it is firing this method. This method. So because of that, it is happening as like we are going with the some kind of use component will mount that life cycle. So also I show that I have explained you that we can pass an array to here. I explain why we need to pass this array. So I create a state here. Get count also already. Okay, that's it. Count and use state. So use state 0. And at the button also click set count. Okay, and also I'll print this count here like this. Okay. This. Okay. Now the application is rendered in here. So this, okay, I have had the word count up. So, okay, now our button is configured. If we are click on this, you can see that this message is showing again. So I have added it as a component will mount box. So if you are don't add the if you are not added this array to here, it is render because if we are click on this button, it is update the state. This state update is happening re-render on the this component because it is need to be show this count because you can see that this improve it is increase the value. So we show that increased value, it is need to be re-render the component. So if we are not pass any argument as a array or empty array, this use effect is going to run with every re-render. So we can avoid that using this empty array. So with this empty array, it is only run when the component mount. So like this, yeah, this. You can see that it is that because our site is refreshed because we have done the changes. So it is re-render. if we are increase this and this component is refreshing, re-rendering, but it is not showing this that alert message. So because it is running on the only with the when the application this component is mounting. So this is the example for the component will mount. So if you are going with the some kind of implementation that there is another lifecycle hook component did update. So I'll show how we can mock this component will update. I'll create another count variable, count to, set count to, and this also here, and add another button to increase this count to. This is count to up, and show the count to here. I'll make this as count 1, and another one, count 2. Okay, like this, count 2, like this. So then I'll add this count 2 as the to this variable array. So like this. So now our application is re-rendered like this, and when I click on this count 1 up, it is increasing but not showing this alert. So then I click on this count 2 up. See, you can see that alert is showing. Then I click again, you can see that this alert is showing. So what is that happening? Because we have added this count to variable to this array. So it is now you can imagine, you can understand what is happening. So because when we are updating this count to, only this only we are, when we are updating this count to, this use effect is running. So we can add some some kind of conditional arguments to this array. If these arrays are changed, these values are changed, we can say the JavaScript engine only if these array this value is changed, run this use effect. That is the component some with the component did update. So it is updating this count variable, count to variable. So it is running this use effect. So that is how these controlling this effect use effects. So you can see that if we are like I'll add this as console log. Otherwise it is very I'll add some kind of dot random type of some kind of operation like this, and I open the inspect elements console. You can see that every time whether it is count 1 or count 2, it is re-rendering that component that use the print the running the use effect. So because of that, we need to add some kind of argument or empty array to reduce this running this use effect. Otherwise it is affect our application performance. So you can see that it is a good feature, but sometimes it can be a very headache to us. So you need to that's why I have mentioned before this. We need to understand how these are working to get the maximum benefit on these. So that's how the use effect is working. So also I need to show you guys how this component will unmount is working. So component will unmount is, and also this use effect is very useful because if we are subscribed to some event like at event listener, we need to remove this event listener when we are destroying or cleaning this component, because otherwise it can be have some memory leaks in the application. So you can see that we can get the both component will mount and component will unmount with the same use effect. You can component will mount with the standard method, and component will unmount with the returning array function with the use effect. So I'll show how it is working. So okay, I'll add this as alert or alert. Okay, like this, and I return a function like this, and I print alert unmounted. So, okay, you can see that our application, our component is mounted. So to destroy this component, we need to go another component or another page. So I go to the use state. You can see that before going to the use state, it is showing this unmounted, because it is clearing that component and unsubscribing all the events, and it is running that similar implementation to the component will unmount. So it is using loaded that use state page. So that is how these life cycle methods can be invoked with the use effect. So then I mentioned how this use ref hook is working. Okay. So is there something happened? My connection is dropped.
We can't see the speed.
Oh yes, I think some kind of in here. Okay. I'll just go again. Sorry, I'm going to see the chat and the okay. Okay. So I'll explain how this useref is using. So useref is we can use useref for two UI some kind of two scenarios. First one is accessing a UI element inside the component. Also keeping any mutable state values, any mutable values. I explained what is this mutable. In the React, all these state variables are very immutable. So we can't change them like equaling them to some value, like I have done before. In that it is you have said, so that it gives and also that you have that, see that I have show you that so okay, I'll show that UI, that implementation, because we are running out of time. So I will create another component, use page, yes, create RFC. I'll speed little bit because there we are running out of time task, because I have explained the very important thing. So let's see. Okay. Okay. I have shown you that this is how the use ref is using the mutable state. I'll have explain that mutable state means we can't this editable state, because before I have I had some issue with directly going to editing a variable, so it is not allowing the React, because it is a constant. If you are going with some kind of mutable state with the use ref, we can mutate that variable. So also that mutation is not affecting with the re-rendering. So I'll show it in the we are going with the that implementation. So first I show first scenario accessing the UI UI elements. So first I'll import this use ref. Then I create a use ref constant text. Then it is equals to use ref. I reference in the some kind of place, and I'll create some kind of focusing. So to create some kind of focusing, so I'll create another input field type text, and I have given this ref as I give that attribute ref as a text input. You need to give it give a some kind of reference to reference the that DOM element. So then I create a button also. On click, focus. Need to create a variable also. Focus variable, or it is a function. Focus text, and it is a function. So text dot current dot focus. Okay, so you can see that we have referenced this input field to this text variable. Then it is a input field, and also it has this focus event. So we can directly call this focus event with this current variable. So this current variable is very important, because this current variable is a mutable state. So we can change this current variable directly without using something like use state. So I'll show it when we talk about this second scenario. So I'll add this focus state text to here, and at the button focus. Okay, I'll add out also. See. User page. So user page. Sorry, user page. See. I'll update this. Oh yes, we have mentioned that it is some problem. Yes, the problem. Sorry. Sorry, this text. Thank you. You have showed the error problem in here. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Focus. Like this. I'll go to the page useref. So when I click here, you can see that this text box is referencing. So the focus to this text box. So you can see that we can use this useref to reference the UI elements in the doc. So you can see that it is same like this query selector document.query selector. So you can see you have the some understanding about that. So then move to the second scenario. Second scenario means this mutable state. Normally the state of the every variable in the this application, it is updating with the re-rendering, but the useref you can achieve this mutable state. And the so mutable state means can be at it is changed without affecting the state, and it is not re-rendering. So we can you can see that it is useref in the current variable, it is not affect to the state, and it cannot affect to that variable. So let's see some examples with this. So okay. Let's take the same component. I'll import use state also. Okay, like this, and I'll add a state like this. Message use state. This is a string, so I have initialized as the empty string. So then I create a reference variable called click count. You can see that I am creating it as a constant. So because of that, we can't edit it directly. So as useref, it will be integer, so I have 0. So I'll add this as a text, and I'll remove this, and I had this as on click on change, then event. This on change, every time it is fires an event, so we can capture that event and use it to our usage. So I set this what is typing in this input field to this set message. Sorry, set message field. Set message. I get that event dot target dot value and value as message. Kalangai, it is updated. So then I add this like this message like this. Now we can see the updated message. So then I click on this I create a function, click button. So this is a function. So it is I've click count dot current. I'll accessing this current variable because that is a mutable state. So I'll check it is equal to 3 and return a message like this. Message limit exceeded this and like this. And with this function, when the click happening, I'll directly going to edit this like this. You can see that I'm directly editing that value that inside the constant. So if we are directly doing this, it is not allowing the by the React. So let's see how it is working. So you can see that. So then this click button is functioning. So let's see how it is working. So I'll type something, hello world. So you can see that it is the re-rendering the DOM, and I click sorry, change this word as send this, okay, like this, and I'll send it, and again I'll type something, hello IIT, and send it, and send something 99x, send it, and if now I have sent 3 messages. So according to that our logic, we can only send 4 messages. If there is more than 3, 4, it is need to show a alert. So I'll add something Sri Lanka and send. See, you can see that it is directly edited and it is updated. So that is how the useref that mutable state is using. So let's move to the one. So this is use memo hook. This is very important when we are going with some kind of functions that has lots of computational power, and this use memo allows to memorize a function that avoiding the running the every render. So this is very useful when having an expensive functions like API calls, IO operations. So there is some kind of big computational functions. So let's see some implementation is that. I'll create another component, this memo page. Yes, let's see. Okay, then I'll mention it here also. This memo page. This memo, import it like this. This memo page, like this. Okay, now our page is created. There is a problem. What is the there is no this memo. Oh, there is a problem. Exact.
Sandun, you can save the memo page.
Okay, sorry. Okay, our memo page is rendered. So let's see how this use memo can be used in the our application. So I'll create I'll import these two use state and the use memo to our app. And I create two variables like clicked one, set clicked one, some state 0, and const clicked 2, like this. Then I create some kind of function that has a huge computational power. So I'll add like this const memo value and use memo. I create a function in this use memo wrapper. So then I'll return this value. So I had a value, some kind of function like this. I'll add a huge while loop that is unnecessary, but I need to explain you guys how it is working. This. Okay, then this do this value. Okay, then I return some kind of math dot random function like this. Okay, so then we can print this here like this memo value. This, okay, then I add two buttons. I copy like this. One, okay. See like this. Okay. Click one, click two. So you also can pass it a second argument to here, but let's see how without argument how it is working. So our component is rendered here. You can see that some value, that random value, it is pinned here. So I'll click 1. You can see that there is some kind of delay when I click this and to after this rendering this, showing this value. So because of that, this unnecessary this is unnecessary means this heavy function, this heavy time consuming function is running when I click on the this button, because it is running with the this use memo is running with the rendering. So if I whether I click 1 or click 2, it is same happening. So let's see how we also can pass another argument array to here. So I'll add click to here. Okay, now let's see what happened. So then I click on click 1. You can see that it is not updated the value. So because this value is memorized and continuously show. You can see also see that it is you can write use effect also. You can see how these values are changing with these with the rendering. We'll add the use effect and run this use effect in here. Because use effect we can run with every render. So here this and console log this memorized value. Memo values. Okay, like this. So then now if we going to re-render this, you can see that this value is click on this. This value is running like this because we are when we click, it is showing. You can see that it is updating. If you click on the click 2, you can see that it is running. It is changing this value because we have added this memo click 2 to this array. So when we click on the click 2, only the click 2, it is changing the state of the click 2, and it is running this memo's value and update the memo value. So you can see that when we click on the click 1, it is showing the memorized value, but when we click on click 2, it is updated the value. So that is the use memo is using. So you can use that kind of heavy and expensive functions with the use memo. So that's how use memo is using. So then let's quickly talk about the custom hooks also. Then wrap up the session also. Okay, so I'll quickly explain this and also so with the React hooks. Okay, the custom hooks also. This is a simple reusability of code. So it is simply a function. So I'll show you guys another example. So I'll don't go to much explain this because we are running out of time. Custom hook. Yes, create RFC component. See, so this component consists of some kind of some kind of simple P1 like this P value. Okay, so I'll refer it here also quickly. Otherwise, I can also refer. Don't going to too much. I'll easily import it here and import this use custom hook. Use custom hook, and I'll replace this use custom hook to here without using the route. This okay. So if you are loading with this one, it is showing this use custom hook page. So let's so in here I'm going to create a custom hook. So I'll create a hook, some custom hook page. Use dark mode. So I'll create some kind of identifier that if the user's PC using dark mode. So to detect that, I'll create a custom hook. So not going to explain that. I'll copy and paste the code. So it is some kind of event listener. So you can see that you can create some kind of they say some kind of custom hooks like this. This is some kind of example. So I have created sorry, I don't have time to explain line by line. So I'll share these slides and these code base. You can refer that. So I have imported this use dark mode. So okay, so I'll going to use this custom hook here. So first we need to import this in okay, the use dark mode. Then it is same as importing inbuilt hook. So then I'll create okay, I'll import the state also. Okay, I'll create a state variable like this. Okay, I'll copy paste because we don't have time that much. Like this, I have added some kind of boolean state. So then I'll create also use. I need use effect also. Okay, so 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 we don't need this. Sorry, don't need this. We can directly call the use effect. This is your hook. So this I'll call it const and is dark, and directly I call this use dark mode with hook. So these is updated. So I'll print some kind of logic here with this ternary operation. If this dark is it is dark, it is a dark mode enable. It is outputs the true. So I'll if this true, I'll print as dark. If it is light, false, it is I'll print as light. So like this. If you are going to this page, I have already activated the dark, so it is showing dark. So I'll show it is how it is working when we are updating the settings. So see, you can see that I'm already activated the dark. So like this, hide here, those colors. So I'll show side by side this view. Okay, like this. Okay, close this. Then I'll change this to light. You can see that it is suddenly changed to the light. So this takes some time because okay. So then I'll change it to dark. You can see that it is suddenly changed to dark. So this is the end of that React hooks. So okay, let's the final item. I'll explain what is the challenge in here. So you guys, I think you guys learned something with this session. So we need to see how much you guys are grabbed with this session. So you guys need to do is create a simple and creative web app with the React. And using these concepts, you also can refer some kind of API request and also all the things, and use any third-party library with the React, and create a creative web app. It may be some kind of information dashboard, some kind of to-do app. These are the examples. You can go beyond that. So also that create that web app and publish it to the as a public repository in the GitHub, and take this screenshot of the your application, that home page, and inbox that screenshot and the GitHub project link to the Dotitude Facebook page. You can see that Dotitude Facebook page in here. So this we are selecting a winner with the panel of judge. These are based mostly creativity of you and the usage of the these React concepts. And our marketing team will arrange the awesome gift to the winner. So that's the wrap up of the session. So also we love to hear from you. So you can mention us with the Instagram and the Facebook and the inbox with the Facebook and the our social channels. And also you can reach out our speakers with the attitude at 99x.io. So that's the wrap up. So I'll hand over the session to the Yasas. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Sandun. So on behalf of 99X, actually, I'm taking this opportunity to thank our Sandun Isuru Niraj, software engineer at 99X, and also Nishra Nasar, associate software engineer at 99X, and also Osusara, working as an intern associate software engineer. For all your time and efforts during this weekend you guys put to make this session a success, I'm really thankful. And also Brian and all the Mozilla Club at IIT. Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, wishing you all the very best. Have a nice evening.
Omar.
Yes, Brian.
Yes, continue the session, Omar.
So thank you very much, everyone. So to continue up with, before going to the final session, we are planning on to give out a quick feedback session form where you all can give us the feedback on the upcoming events regarding what are the topics you would like us to cover on the upcoming open bracket sessions. Yes, I think we have the feedback forms by now. Yes. You all can quickly go and give us a quick feedback. Yes, Brian.
And also another kind notice from me on behalf of the Mozilla Club and IIT. I would like to apologize for the matter that was happened due to the session. Nasar and all the conductors who did that. I'm really sorry, and I'm apologizing on behalf of my university and the club. Sir, though that person do something like that, we can't doing sessions. So we really want the 99X for our next sessions too. So, sir, we think your team will accept our apologizes. Sorry for that, sir.
Yeah, never mind. But just a couple of tips for everyone here, like because everyone from IIT, and I think it's my duty to inform this thing as a friend. So when you're arranging industry sessions, a couple of suggestions. So you can ask your lecturers to attend these sessions, and also make sure to have common good ethical attitude among your batch mates, and also we really looking forward if someone is there to accept this mistake, and if someone is being ethical to come and talk to us and say sorry. We like to see that kind of attitude. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your advice, sir.
All right then, guys. So we are leaving. Have a nice day, and wishing you all the very best again. Bye bye.